Hey everybody, Agent of Doubt here, still suffering from insomnia, and today I'm just going to answer some questions that I've been given on social media in different places. And if you see the same shirt on me in subsequent videos, it's because I filmed all these all on the same day. It's not because I'm a dirty bastard. But this first question that I'm going to take, it's from Bruce Shepard, and he says, Agent of Doubt, if you owned a bakery, would you bake a religious themed cake? And that's a response to Todd Starnes, verified on Twitter, who says in his poll, should a gay baker be forced to make an anti gay themed cake? Should an atheist baker be forced to make a religious themed cake? Hashtag SCOTUS, hashtag Todd Starnes Show, ToddStarnes.com. And I voted no on that, but it's not just a simple no. I'll go deeper, okay? I don't feel like when the government grants a regular business license to someone just for the purpose of collecting taxes from them, business taxes and whatnot, I don't feel like that is the kind of license that also includes the caveat that you must be beholden to the social mores and the cultural standards of the government. You know, I feel like just a business license does not mean, yes, you have to be open to everyone and you have to be all inclusive to all customers. I don't feel like that's the case. It should not be. I feel like if a bakery decides to not bake a gay themed wedding cake, then the backlash that they get in social media is enough punishment that they would get slammed on their Yelp reviews and their Google reviews and whatnot. That's okay, but I wouldn't get the law involved. You know, people have their differing beliefs, and if I were a baker, yes, I would bake a religious themed cake because I'm chiefly out to make money. If I own a business, I just want to make money. And unless my business has this other business objective of pushing my own values on everybody else, then I'm just going to sell them the things that they want in the themes that they want. And I might not have the greatest selection because my bakery would, of course, reflect my own values, but I'd have a different selection than any other religious themed bakery in that I'd have toppers that were for the layer cakes and all these little ornaments for them that were a little bit more worldly, a little bit more I guess imaginative, and a lot of abstract art toppers. And if somebody wanted me to take the very generic, bland bride and groom toppers that I would have and put them on the cake and then make them look like them, like religious, like if it was a gay couple, I would put two grooms on top. If it was a lesbian couple, I'd put two brides on top. If that's what they wanted. If they wanted two grooms for the lesbian couple, because they're both going to wear tuxes, and they want me to like paint the tuxes in different colors, I'd do that too. If it was a Jewish couple and they wanted a yarmulke on top of the guy's head, I would take the frosting and I'd put that little black circle right on the back of his head, knowing full well I don't support anyone actually being Jewish. I don't endorse Judaism. I don't endorse Islam, and I would still, if they wanted me to put a traditional veil over the bride, so that you couldn't see any like face on the little topper, I would put a little icing, little veil on the bride. I would do whatever they wanted because it's their ceremony. I'm selling them a fucking cake. You know, they're the ones who are endorsing whatever their beliefs are, So yeah, I would sell anything that they wanted on their cake. You know, uh, someone comes in and wants a Nazi cake. You know, I'm going to I'm not going to put like a box over this cake that says the name of my bakery. I'm gonna say that this is not endorsed by. And if I did have like pre-stamped boxes like with the bakery's name, I would actually write not endorsed by this bakery, but we aim to please. And I would put out the Nazi cake. You know, I don't think anyone should be a Nazi, but if somebody thought it was funny and in their circles the joke was going to be funny, then I don't feel like it's wrong of them to be able to buy a Nazi cake. Or, I might just bake the cake and then give them the frosting to be able to do it themselves. If it was something that I really really couldn't bring myself to do, I would still try to accommodate them as much as I could to make fucking money. And then just say, well, they drew that on their own cake. That's their own cock and balls, that they drew on their cake. Whatever. But I really feel like the baker situations that have happened in the news in the past decade, whenever they do crop up as news stories again, I feel like what gets missed a lot in them is that those bakers are actually reflecting the bigotry of their surrounding communities more than the bigotry of the bakers themselves, because the bakers don't want to be known as the bakery that made the gay wedding cake, that endorsed their gay wedding, because a lot of their clientele come from bigoted churches, and so they don't want those people to see, oh, did you hear that Lucy and Sally got married? Did you see their cake? Do you know who baked it? It's the same bakery that you were going to get your cake from, right? And so they're basically trying to protect their business from the stigma of being the people who endorse a homosexual lifestyle. And in many places, this would cost them more business than the business that they would get from that one transaction, because they live in a bigoted area. And so I feel for the bakers that have to make a decision like that, where it might not be their own personal views. They just know that if they were to bake every sort of thing, that they would not stay in business long if they were known as the Nazi cake place and the gay wedding cake place and the giant cock and balls place. They wouldn't get the business from the people that they cater to the most. And so I feel like that's a really good example of why government maybe should stay out of these very complicated social issues when it comes to businesses, and only regulate those businesses that we've come to understand that everyone should have this fair access to, such as doctors and lawyers and whatnot. Those licenses, of course, should have a standard of ethics that come with them that have like non-discrimination of many different things. But even then, if I had a problem with having a client in one of those professions, the ethics say, what do? Refer them to somewhere where they can get treatment that they need, if you can't provide it to them because you have some problem with them. That's going to keep you from being able to give them quality treatment. If you have that situation pop up, you're supposed to like all of these different licensed professions have some version of this. that you just give them a referral to someone who will help them. And luckily, we have such a big population in most places that there are at least a couple of people who do that same sort of work, where somebody is going to be able to handle the situation that popped up. You know. All right, I think I've finished answering that one. On to the next question.